Hey, if you're coming here to Brazil in June, you need to know about the Festas Juninas. We need to talk about what's upcoming, the Festas Juninas, which translated means the June parties, because June is a big month here. And these Festas Juninas, as the locals, people refer to it as like the carnival for the Brazilians. So basically, like, you have carnival and people from the world over come and celebrate this huge street party. But this party here, the Festas Juninas, which is for most of the month of June, this is for the Brazilians. And I did some research and I think it's quite interesting. I didn't realize, which makes sense. There's a lot of roots of this party that come from Europe and also from the Bible. These parties are adapted from the midsummer parties of Europe. And because summer in Europe, our seasons are switched around, so summer in Europe is winter here. Although that be told, winter here in Bahia is still very hot. And to be honest, it's my favorite season here because it's like still nice and warm, but not like where you're sweating every day profusely. There's 3 different saints that are basically celebrated, and the biggest saint is São João, Saint John, and this celebrates his nativity. So in the Bible, apparently there was a fire lit to warn Mary of Saint John's arrival. So this is the 24th is the Dia de São João, and that is the Saint John the Baptist Day. Really interesting stuff like baptism under fire being part of this, that colloquialism. One big part of São João is that you build a fogueira in a big stack of wood. And I didn't realize, but yes, it actually is lit on the 23rd, which is the eve of St. John's Day, or São João. There's 3 different Catholic saints that are celebrated in the month of June, but São João's being the most important of all those 3. Now, there's Santo Antonio, and that is celebrated on June 12th. And that's what kind of makes this time period special. I feel like it's super romantic because I think in general, I think that cold weather is a little bit more romantic, and Brazil does not celebrate Valentine's Day. It's one of the few countries that doesn't celebrate on February 14th. They celebrate on June 12th, on the day of Santo Antonio. Now I heard, and I wanted to make a video about this, but I couldn't. I heard this and I feel like I read it somewhere, but I can't find the info. So you're just gonna have to take my hearsay on this. But I heard that in Brazil, they don't celebrate Valentine's Day on February 14th because it coincides with Carnival. And a big deal here, like I've heard this before, that people are super scandalous. They just want to mess around with other people. And so you can't really have this romantic relationship holiday in the middle of Carnival when your significant other is probably going to cheat on you. Starting on the June 12th, Santo Antonio, which is Dia dos Namorados, which is Valentine's Day basically. And they have São João. The whole month is basically, we talk about São João. And that is celebrating John the Baptist. And then on the 29th, São Pedro, who is the patron saint of widowers. So as far as the fire goes for São João, that starts on the night of the 23rd and it should go all day long. You don't want that fire to go out. No, I don't think that's always the case, but that's theoretically how it should go. So in addition to the fire, tons of fireworks. This is the time of year that you're gonna see people on the side of the road selling firecrackers and all the other stuff. And also forget these little kids have these little snap things where I don't even know what they're called, not even in Portuguese. You just kind of like throw them on the ground, they make a snapping noise. And that's a huge thing. All the kids have them. At this time of the year, people want to dress like caipiras, which are country bumpkins, more or less. And so, especially kids. So you give the boys a unibrow and like a little tiny mustache, and you give the girls pigtails with like rosy cheeks. Oh, and I've done this right now, but I think it just makes my skin look bad, which is unfortunate, but I put freckles on my face for this video, but actually, I think it just looks like I have bad skin. But that was the point. Also, this sort of cheetah fabric, and the cheetah is this flower fabric that's really kind of So this whole like romantic notion of country bumpkin, and that's how you dress. You can do that in Pelourinho, but because I'd seen in all like the magazines, all these celebrities going to these São João parties dressed like that. But when I went to Aracaju, I was dressed in like a cheetah dress with freckles, sideways on my face, thinking like, yay, I'm doing the thing that I heard about. And no adult was dressed that way, okay? So this is my warning to you. None of the adults were dressed that way. And it was rough because people were like, oh, gringa. People were mad at me that I was dressed that way. I was like, dude, I didn't do that. I didn't do that to mess with you guys or make you upset with me. But they were like, because I went somewhere, because it's a big thing. He's like, you have to go to the interior, the countryside, for São João, to celebrate São João. So I did that, but I went to the countryside where people are actual cowboys and cowgirls, right? And they like, because I went there and they all had like legit leather cowboy hats and stuff, and were wearing like legit cowboy cowgirl clothing. And then I was dressed like a caipira, and I was super out of place. I got a lot of heat for it. So anyways, this is my warning. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can dress like a caipira with freckles and Pelourinho in Salvador, but don't go to the interior dressed like a I did, because it's not gonna fly. So some of the things you're gonna see at these festas juninas is you're gonna see quadrilha, which is this cute little dance that's sort of like a wedding dance, where you're on either side and you hold hands with someone and people come through and then they go to the back of the line. It's very cute, very, very cute. And also the most famous music is forró. This is the season of forró. So it's this weird thing here with music. It has its seasons. When you get to be in the season of Carnival, a little bit after, it's axé music. But then when it gets to be the season of São João, it's forró. And so forró is sort of like Brazilian country music. And just like country music in the US, forró is much better when it's older and it actually sounds like forró. So like for me, like modern day forró does not sound like forró. It's like, what is this garbage? Same with a lot of modern country music. Like for instance, Taylor Swift, when she was country, I was like, I understand this sounds like pop music. This doesn't sound like country. So that's my hot take on forró. But forró is very cute music. You have basically someone playing a triangle, which if you've ever tried, it's actually harder than it looks. Playing a zambumba, it's a drum that is where you play on the top and the bottom, and then accordion. And it's very cute, quaint, but very romantic music. I love it. I love this music. Now there's a lot of different origin stories of how this music came to be called forró. And the one I like the most is that it was a bunch of gringos, now it was either Americans or English, who were saying to the Brazilians, military people, saying, hey, we're having a party, it's for all, and they heard it and they're like, forró, forró. There you have it. It's just like the origin of the word funk. There's so many different origin stories of words. It's hard to pinpoint actually where it came from, but that's my favorite origin story for the word forró. Last but not least, the food and drinks. So this is the time of the year that people make. See, like in the supermarkets even, people are taking old bottles of Johnny Walker Red or Black and they wash them out and they fill them up with homemade booze that are usually fruit liqueurs or corn. And so these liqueurs that you drink for São João are very sweet and sort of like, I don't know, bathtub gin with fruit. There's fruits that I only know from these liqueurs because I think that the fruit on its own is not very tasty, but in a liqueur is. And so that's a thing that you do. You drink corn liquor. Corn is the food of São João. Corn bread, corn everything. Corn, 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 corn. Corn on a stick. Lots of corn. It's really a great time of the year. Sentiment sort of has changed because for midsummers it was sort of bringing on summer because it is around the equinox of summer in the western part of the hemisphere. or sorry, the northern part of the hemisphere. But here it was basically like a thank you so much for all the rain that we had party. So the food that they eat would be the crops from the time period, and so it's just tons of corn. So if you don't like carbs, gotta bring your own beef jerky. Anyhow, I hope that shed a little bit of a light on the Festas Juninas. It's really like one of my favorite times of the year. It's so great. I think that you'll enjoy it if you come here for it, and that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you're watching these videos, please subscribe already. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Beijos!